What's up, everybody? I guess we're gonna do like a Falcons Chiefs season review uh, ahead of the matchup between the Chiefs and Falcons in Vegas. We got Stringaling here,
What's up, guys?
and we're gonna talk about his team first. So Desmond Ritter ended the year 2,367 yards, 23 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 63% completion percentage. Nick Foles coming in at second with 771 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Taylor Heineke down there with 2 interceptions. Do you want to talk about what happened with your quarterbacks this year, quarterback play overall, how Desmond Ritter has kind of progressed as a quarterback over the year?
Well, Desmond, started out rocky week one. Defense won that game for me. Sure, you've seen that video
Mm-hmm.
already if you follow the channel. I don't remember if we streamed that one or not. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Regardless, Desmond started out a little rocky, but we were managing, to win. We were 4-0, I think, when we played you. Ritter come into that game, fumbled 3 or 4 times, and he'd kind of been a little shaky.
You lost to the Jags the week before me.
Okay, yeah, that is right. That is
Yep.
right.
Oh,
Lost to the Jags. He was the reason we lost that one. Um,
2 touchdowns,
then we
two
went
interceptions.
went
Whatever.
into the Texans game,
Yep.
and he fucking turned the ball over, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
fumbled it.
that simple. Fumbled it.
Yep.
How many times? Four?
I don't know. Quite a bit.
Three
Uh,
fumbles? Three fumbles.
yeah.
One was like going in for a touchdown. He fumbled. That one I kind of take the blame for, but the other ones were just
Yeah.
inexcusable. Couldn't hold on to the football. Uh, Benched him then.
Yep.
Put in Nick Foles. Nick Foles was a good game manager. It's kind of the same situation as Ritter. And but I don't remember what happened with me wanting to go back with Ritter. I think Foles was kind of. I think I sat down and I looked at the stats, and
Yeah.
they were kind of tit for tat what they were doing. Maybe Ritter was a little bit better on the completion percentage side of things, and decided to go with Ritter again. And from there on, I used him in a little bit different way. And
Yeah. Looked like against the Vikings, he kind of came in late, maybe. Then the Cardinals, he took over. Y'all won that game, 27-25, close game. Then y'all went and beat the Saints by a touchdown, then lost to the Jets. Then he had 4 touchdowns against the Bucks, blowing up in week 4. Y'all won that game 45-13. Then he played pretty solid against the Panthers. What I see is he cut down on a lot of the turnovers late in the year because you were using him
mm-hmm.
in a different way.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he had what, one turnovers? No, yeah, one turnover in what would be the last quarter
Yeah.
of the year, or 3 turnovers.
And I'll tell you something else too. It only took 19 sacks on the year, so that says a lot about your offensive line going forward.
Yeah, they're very good. They started off
Rocky.
rocky, but they in the pass game, that is, and then from there on out they were a pretty solid group.
Yep. And let's go to rushing real quick. Bijan ended the year with 308 carries, 1,869 yards, 6.1 average, insane, 18 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. His yard after contact was 565. His long on the year was 79, and this is all in 15 games. Tyler Algier, 102, 481 yards, 4 touchdowns. Ritter, 44 carries, 422, 4. And then Julio right there, 12 for 160. So go ahead and talk about Bijan and your rushing attack because your offense is built around Bijan for a good reason. I think he's
Yeah,
93 overall as
yeah,
a rookie.
93 base overall. Yeah,
Yeah,
up to X Factor now. Dude's just an animal. I
yeah,
mean, I throw in the ball, he runs the ball. If he could pass it, I'd let him pass it.
yeah. Yeah,
I
he's got
mean,
61 catches, 613 yards through the
he's a
air.
monster.
Yeah,
Um, just feed him. I mean, it was really that simple. And I didn't expect to be able to win with Ritter. Ritter has improved throughout the year, but I knew Bijan was going to have to be somebody, one, that I needed to develop, and two, to lean on. And I think I definitely accomplished that goal this year.
mm-hmm.
Algier's been a good spot guy. coming in, filling in. I know he filled in nicely for Bijan in one of the two games where he was the primary back because Bijan was out due to injury.
Mm-hmm.
I think he went for 124 or something, and he was just a good back. Ritter, most of his rushing is non-designed little quarterback scrambles, stepping up in the
Mm-hmm.
pocket, taking off up the middle of the defense. Julio, get him the ball some on jet sweep. That's where he's been kind of his X factor, I guess, there, and run after catch. He breaks a lot of tackles after he catches the ball. So, I mean, yeah, I just my receivers aren't in a position right now, and my quarterback isn't in a position for me to lean in that direction. So I was heavy run this year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it's hard not to be when you got somebody like Bijan Robinson toting it.
Oh yeah,
I mean, what
insane.
did he ended up with? NFC Running Back of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, second place in Offensive Player of the Year. Um, he's just a freak.
Yep. And then receiving core, you got Kyle Pitts leading everybody in yards with Bijan coming in second. Kyle Pitts, 42 catches, 729 yards, 6 touchdowns. Drake London, 30 for 598, 7. And then Julio, 29, 553, 6. You want to talk about your receiving core a little bit? Your receiving attack?
Yeah, Kyle Pitts. There was games where he didn't get the ball. I probably should have schemed him in more, honestly. Uh, but it wasn't like I was going out there and just not throwing him the ball. It was, Ritter's inability to get it to him sometimes.
Yeah,
My
180 against
ability,
the Bucks. Jesus.
yeah, my ability to see him. So
Hmm.
it was a combination of me and Ritter at times. Sometimes it was just Ritter, sometimes it was just me. Just not seeing him or game planning in his direction as much as I should have.
Hmm.
Um, Bijan, he plays a little bit of slot receiver for me, and I dump off a lot of check downs and screen passes to him. Drake London impressed me this year,
Hmm.
but again, I couldn't get him the ball like really he deserves, and that goes for my whole receiving core
Hmm.
because of Ritter and what I felt like I needed to do to be successful. Julio, I mean, like I was saying, after the catch, 304 yards after catch.
It's
He's
insane.
that's just what he is for me. He's a rat god.
Yeah, literally.
Busts a lot of tackles off and he goes, man.
Hmm.
Justin Ross, for me, he's a later pickup. He played for somebody else, so his stats aren't exact for what he did for me, but I think he's had one touchdown for me.
Yeah.
Been a decent guy. Jonnu Smith definitely doesn't get the ball like he's supposed to, but I don't run a whole lot of two tight end sets where I'm throwing the ball.
Hmm.
But I don't remember if it was the Packers, one of the playoff games. He had a big catch and a touchdown.
We can look at that real quick. Let's see. Um,
I think it was
looks
one of the
like
playoff games. It could have been the Saints game. I know it was later in the year.
Bears. One
Yeah, maybe yeah,
one
one for
catch for
57
57. Yeah.
there, and then he had a 47-yarder against the Panthers. That might be the one I'm thinking about, and he just got tackled.
Hmm.
So. I'm satisfied. My receiving court's not where I want it to be. Obviously, Kyle Pitts is going to be a huge part of that. Bijan's continue to be a part of it. Drake London, we got to get him the ball more, continue to develop him, but he's got a promising future. And Julio, this is just his quest for a ring, man. That's what I brought him in for.
Yep.
Now we're here.
Early on. Blocking,
And
let's see. Um, see if Bergeron gave up 1 sack all year.
yeah, and I think that was against the freaking Bears, man. It was late, or maybe when the backups were in.
Hmm.
That was the Saints. Yeah, it was week 18. All the backups played but him,
Wow.
and he gave up his only sack in that game. Sadly, he didn't win off Slumber of the Year.
Yeah.
Probably I'll just say because he's a rookie, but you don't get much better than that from a rookie guard, man.
Oh yeah, he dominated.
One sack, started every play. He played 934 downs. He gave up one sack,
Wow.
and apparently he missed. No, he played every game too. So he's a monster.
Yeah,
Same
he
thing with
played.
Jake Matthews. 2 sacks,
Yeah, as your
missed
left
one
tackle.
game. Yeah.
It's impressive. Defense. This is what's going to be special right here. Nobody had over 100 tackles. Jesse Bates had 100, but that just tells me that your defense was flying to the ball. This is what's insane to me. Calais Campbell with 47 tackles for a loss. absolutely insane.
Oh
Arnold,
yeah,
a big T, 20, and
Ebikadi.
Ebikadi, yeah, okay, there you go. Had 9.5. Your other edge rusher, D'Angelo Malone, had 8. Interceptions, Jesse Bates with 6, Terrell with 5, Marcus Jones, a pickup late by you with 3. Let's see, forced fumbles, got D'Angelo with 2. Fumble recoveries, Arnold with 2. Touchdowns, you had AJ, Arnold, and Jesse Bates. Talk about that defense.
Man, them boys were tough. And we wouldn't have won a ball game this year if it wasn't for them.
Oh yeah.
Especially since getting in the playoffs, man.
Mhm.
Big play after big play. They may give up yards, but they're bend don't break.
Mhm.
Especially in the passing game, they do a great job in the run game. Passing game, we get cut up a little bit, but they come up when it matters. Um, Marcus Jones has been a great addition to the secondary. Played running back for 2 weeks for me. Decided to
Yeah.
move him back to the defense side of the ball, and he's been great there. He's been great in the return game. What's carried us through the playoffs has definitely been special teams, or been the saving grace. I can't say carried us, but they
Oh
have been
yeah.
the saving grace.
Yeah.
But top to bottom, man, they're tough. They play well together. One guy's not good at, another one seems to be good at.
Yeah.
So I can't. There's moments where I bitch about them, but at the end of the day, there's really nothing to complain about.
Yeah. They played tough for you, big time. Big time. Kicking hasn't been an issue for you at all. Only missed one field goal, 62 for 62 on extra points. Punting, you got 14 inside the 20. That's really good. 45 total punts for an average of 45. It's pretty good. Kick return, got Marcus Jones with 2 touchdowns at kick return. That's massive. Punt return, yeah, I mean, Marcus Jones doing everything for you. Any final thoughts on your team and anything?
I'm just proud of him. I didn't
Mhm.
expect this. Even though I told you from the beginning I'm gonna get Julio and I'm gonna make a run for a ring,
Mhm.
there was still a lot of doubts that I'd get here.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so we'll see. I mean, obviously, I hope for the Super Bowl, but I can't be mad if I don't win it. We've. I told you the other day. You said I've overachieved, but at
Mhm.
this point, there is no such thing as overachieving once you've made it all the way to the Super Bowl.
That's true.
To me, that's just my mindset on things. If you got there, you didn't overachieve.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true.
earlier in the year, getting to the playoffs, you may have overachieved, but once you run the table through the playoffs and you get to the big one, to me, it doesn't.
Yeah,
It's not that anymore.
that makes sense. It makes sense to me. So let's look at your opponent, the Chiefs. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, 4,751 yards, 41 touchdowns, and this is what's impressive to me: 4 interceptions, 72 completion percentage. Only taken 20 sacks on the year. Talk about him a little bit.
He's just going to be Patrick Mahomes, dude. There's nothing that needs to be said that people don't already know.
Yeah, he's a monster. Well, let's look at the Russian attack real quick. You have Pacheco with 1,000 yards, 16 touchdowns. I mean, that's what's scary to me about them. Now they can really run the ball at a high clip. And Pacheco runs like his hair's on fire, and he runs, like I said, he runs angry. Um, Receiving core, obviously Travis Kelsey's leading that receiving core, 11 touchdowns. You got Kadarius Toney, you got Richie James, you got Rasheed Rice, McCole Hardman came over late, Valdez Scantling, Pacheco even put in. He just spreads the ball out a lot.
Yep.
Obviously, if you can stop Kelsey, you have a I mean, uh, you have a chance to stop that team if you can stop Kelsey. I think that's just like real life. Um, their line is insane. Their tackles are a little weaker, but their guard and their interior play, right guard's insane. Their center's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, all those guys. I mean, their line is just great overall. I mean, anything you want to say about their offense as far as
It's going
maybe?
to be
Yeah,
a fucking battle.
yeah,
Shutting that down, man. Getting off
yeah,
of blocks,
yep,
tackles for loss, generating negative plays is going to be tough.
yeah. It is. Let's look at their defense. Nick Bolton, I think he is a 90 overall star. He's got 116 tackles, 1 sack, no turnovers forced. Then they got Drew Tranquil. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Both corners are really good. They're in the 70 mark on tackles. Justin Reed, 69 overall. Willie Gay. See if they got Chris Jones, defensive tackle with 12.5 sacks. Not really forcing a lot of pressure. George is young. He's kind of down this year with sacks. Charles is kind of like a no-name guy. I don't really know him. 4 sacks. I mean, Chris Jones is the lifeblood of that defensive line. 5 interceptions from Snead, 4 from Reed, and then McDuffie, Rowe, Watson, and Mike Edwards all have 1. Any forced fumbles? Just 1 on the year by Mike Dana. Touchdowns? No defensive touchdowns at all this year. Pretty interesting. So, talk about that defense a little bit and how you plan to attack it and what to look out for.
I don't think it's any secret, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run the fucking football.
Yeah.
It's what we do. We're not gonna shy away from it. We haven't all year.
Yep.
We're gonna commit to it, and that's what we're gonna do. And hopefully we'll find success and be able to hit them on a couple play action passes, which is something we started doing pretty well later in the year.
Yep.
Which is, why Desmond Ritter went for 360 and 4 touchdowns against the Bucks. The play action pass, they wanted to settle on the run. I made them pay.
Yep.
And I think Bijan still went for over 100. So
if you can play that type of game against the Chiefs, you got a big chance. If you can stop Kelsey, I think that now their corners are sneaky good. I think McDuffie's 86. I think Snead's 89. I mean he's 80. Yeah, he's 87. I mean that's solid. Reed is a pretty solid safety, but he's at 84. It's not like they have any type of Hall of Famers back there quite yet. They're kicking what? They kicked 10 field goals all year. And Harrison missed 5 of them. So
they must be trying to kick out of his range. Let's look at the attempts there.
That's wild.
Got 1 inside of where's his misses? A lot of long field goals. Yeah, he's made 1 for 6 attempts at 50 or more.
Wow, that's insane. That's insane. 66 extra point. Then you got Townsend is punted at 40 times, 9 down inside the 20. They've had like a good rotation of kick returners. So I don't know. That's interesting. McCole Hardman seems to be their #1 punt returner. Let's look at the playoff picture real quick, and then we'll get into the game. We'll talk about your road to the playoffs, through the playoffs first, and then we'll kind of look at the Chiefs. All right, Falcons start off. Y'all start off with a #2 seed against the Panthers.
Yeah, man. I was kind of worried playing them for a third straight time. We dominated their offense week 1. Second time, I think it was a little bit closer game.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense really started turning it on, and then the playoff game, we just generated turnovers, man.
Bryce had 4 interceptions, yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of like a remake of week 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I felt, I was pleased for the most part of what I saw with the team against them and everything. Bryce still got yards, obviously.
Yeah.
But
316.
You look 4 turnovers. They were, I don't know how many third down attempts they had, but they only had 2 conversions on third down.
Yeah.
Defense impressed me. 66% in the red zone.
Yeah, Bijan went for
to 17 minutes of time of possession.
That's insane.
I think we carried 9 minutes of the. Yeah. We had a 9-minute advantage in time of possession, so.
That's big. And you're forcing turnovers too, so that's what won y'all the ball game. Then you go on, and the Packers. I guess they didn't upset the 49ers. 49ers kind of had an up and down year. Went in and beat the 49ers, and then you played the Packers round 2.
Yeah, the Packer game was a lot closer than 2 possessions my way. I can't remember right off the top of my head what happened exactly. I think we blocked a blocked a punt, returned it for a touchdown. And I guess we generated turnovers again.
Yeah.
Turnovers. That's what my defense. That's what's winning ball games right now.
Heck yeah.
Not turning over and generating them because I'm playing really safe. I'm not playing too aggressive, going forward a lot, things like that. Um, we run the ball, we manage the clock, and play defense, man.
Yep. That's right. And then, of course, Cowboys come in with the best record in the NFL, I believe. Beat the Giants pretty handily in their game, and then you play them in Dallas. Uh, Pretty close game, 31-28. You know, walk us through that one.
Like I told you on the phone, man. It was like fist fighting a bobcat in a phone booth. Dude, it was tough. It's a really good football team. I mean, you look
Man,
at offensive yards gained. We allowed 512 to 285.
wow.
Again, we generated
Wow.
turnovers. We made big special teams plays and come out
Yep.
on top.
Yep.
Committed to the run still. I mean, look, Ritter had 87 passing yards
Yeah.
at what? 78 completion percentage. Okay, so I
Yeah.
probably could have threw it a little bit more. But
Maybe.
I was committed to run the ball. Ritter and Bijan both had solid games rushing. Algier and with his 2 carries were nice. But, I just played ball, man.
Yeah.
The team, like, a lot of people say, like, well, it depends on the user. It depends on the user. Well, I never gave up, but my defense really didn't. It's like the harder it got, the defense turned it up even harder.
Yeah,
My defense
yeah,
did.
that first play of the game, I think the Cowboys ran it, and your fucking defense just flew to the goddamn ball. I was like, oh shit. Like, there's something to it. You know, the morale's boosted. I mean, the guys are. You got a lot of athletes out there. They're playing tough. Like,
Yeah,
so
I mean, they're playing great football.
yeah. So actually, you go over here, and this is a two-seed Super Bowl if you look at it, two versus two. The Chiefs go in and beat the Bengals 35-28. They both scored 14 in the fourth quarter. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow battled it out. Mahomes actually had interception, but it seems like to me that just the ground game kind of won him the game. Pacheco had a great game. So then the Ravens, your true number one seed, beat the Raiders. Then the Chiefs go in and play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then in the for the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs find themselves in Baltimore and they pull out a 40-36 win against the number one seeded Ravens. Patrick Mahomes threw for 408 in that game, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Lamar had a perfect game, 4 touchdowns. Just I don't know. I mean, dang. Kadarius Toney had 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. They just found a way to win it, man, in that game.
Yep.
And now they find themselves in Vegas against your Falcons football team, man. Any final thoughts before we get into the game?
Good, man. I'm ready to do it.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all there. Let's do this thing.